And suppose they publish something. Imagine the Indian government saying to the British government, we need to extradite this American journalist to put them in jail in India.
Hey, Larry, how you doing?
Secrets laws. Can you imagine the American government would allow that to happen? Can you imagine that extradition going ahead? So, as Jen Robinson was just saying, it's all very well for people who think of themselves as proper journalists to sit this one out. But the precedent that is going to be set by this case is...
Well, that was exciting. Thought it was somebody else, but it wasn't. It pays to look at what you're doing before you do it. So, here it is. Oh, what time is it? It's 3 o'clock, give or take. And there's one person there. We had a little precursor, and then a purple approved who came aboard. Who knows? I was wondering. And then Larry broke in, John. And you just heard him. And so, in a totally subjective way, or objective, which one's better, subjective or objective? Objective is, in the times we live in, I can't tell what's subjective and what's objective. Can you? Pretty much, subjective, objectively, what's going on in the strip is basically getting rid of what was known as the norms of global norms of law. Right? There is none. Right? Now people just do what they want. Like that little shooting that happened at the Super Bowl parade winners, out there in Missouri, whatever that city's called. Basically, that was caused because two young men, one 17, one 20, the 17-year-old thought the 20-year-old was looking at him like he was gay. So he pulled his gun and started shooting. And the other guy was carrying, and he started shooting. Now, these guys, 10 feet apart, right? They were right at the corner of the stage where everybody was, and they hit over 20 people, and one woman was killed. These morons didn't shoot each other, right? And they had friends who had guns who pulled their guns, and at least those guys didn't shoot, right? They had guns. And all of them, because Missouri has, unlicensed okay to carry concealed, and that you can buy a gun without any kind of registration in Missouri. I don't believe a word I say. I don't take that as gospel, but that's what hearsay tells me, right? And so, one woman dies, and she was a beloved woman. She had a radio show. She was a DJ. Okay, this time we'll look at who's calling. Oh, it's our boy Johnny. Let's see what. Hey, Johnny, how you doing?
I want to stay at the art school.
Well, John, I have no car to drive there. I have no money to get there. I have nowhere to be there. And, John, nothing. I have very little in the material world. And so that's a blessing because it makes me freer, right? So I don't have to worry about it, right? So if I come see you, I have to worry about being thrown out immediately and having no way to get back home.
I wouldn't throw you out.
John, you've already proven you would. You threw me out 32 times.
You forgot how it was last year and the year before. I was really nice.
No, you threw me out.
I got really nice.
No, you threw me out each of those times. One of them, when we had the ice storm, you threw me out virtually every day.
4 years.
And The time before that, you threw me out 4 times, and all I did was
That
go
that
down
was
and had breakfast, and then you
that
called me
was
up
in
and
like
said, "Oh, please come
2019
back, come
or
back." So I would
2018.
come back. I didn't drive out of town. So,
That
John,
was in
but I have
2018
no
or
car, John.
2019.
John, I have no car, and I have a very limited resources.
I don't throw
And
you out
spring
now,
is well, you did the
so you
last
can just
time I was
stay.
there last year around this time. You threw me out, and and then I drove. And that time you threw me out 4 times in less than a week, and every time I would just go down and have breakfast, and then you'd call me up, please come back, and I would, and last time that you threw me out,
Yay!
I just kind of said screw it and went home because it had already gotten to be semi. But with global warming, John,
Yeah,
it's spring now. I don't have to worry about
yeah,
the cold.
yeah. Yeah.
So I'm
Well,
doing fine. And John, I have hardly any money for food, so I am a pretty slim looking guy.
is this the first year that the gopher didn't come out of the prairie dog burrow?
The first year that the gopher didn't come out of your asshole,
No.
yes, a gopher stays in your asshole. That's why you use all that toilet paper to get the gopher to come out of your asshole.
No.
Is it a gopher or is it
No.
a
I'm gonna
it's a
hang up.
groundhog?
You can
It's a
live here.
groundhog that
You
lives
can
in your
just live
asshole.
downstairs. You can live downstairs if you want. Okay, bye.
Maybe. But no, I have no way to get there, right? I live on $400 a month. And here's a good segue. Throw something in my PayPal, guys. Come on. The Dude Awake 42 at Gmail. Dude Awake 42 at Gmail. And so, my water has, I'm waiting for a guy to help me fix my water. So I don't have any of that. But hey, you should get used to that. So I have a spring that I water, and I gather water into a culvert off my roof. That's my other water. But pretty much about 20 million people in the United States really can't drink the water that comes out of their tap. Right? And there's another 30 million people who have no water whatsoever. So 50 million people in the United States have no water, really. And then you probably add another 30 million or maybe 70 million who do have water, and their utilities tell them, oh, that's safe, but it's killing them, right? Like those people um, virtually in every black community and every poor community. Because around here, there are no black people, yet the powerful treat them like they're black, right? Like they're slaves, right? And what we're looking at, well, it's 2024. We have JoJo, the used car salesman, and Donnie Chump, the TV game show host. Right? Do you really want one of those two guys to be your president? I mean, we've had both of them. You can just see what you get. So the powers that be. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? I am the powers that be. I am the high table. I am the magician. I own all of you. I rule you. I rule. Dad, get. And so, um, what can you do with your life? Right? You're gonna stay in your bed like John and just have swill around in your shit and have groundhog come out of your asshole. You know. Oh, and that groundhog is whatever you're scared of, whatever you're fearful of. Meaning, I'm not scared of it. I've died 7 times. I know. What's the worst? I die. Right? No big deal. Right? But it's exciting to live each moment as God's medulla, right? And have a personal relationship with God, right? And that's what I'm here to do. When I go on these YouTubes, that's what I'm here to help you do, right? Give you inspiration. I hope I'm inspiring somebody there. So anyway, it's so the weather has been like a seesaw, right? And it's really, really going to be strange. And I live right at this. I live in the Sawtooth Accordion Mountain Range, between the Blue Ridge and Appalachian Mountain Range, right? And that's about a 200 square mile chunk of land where it's all it is. Like right where I'm sitting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I see 6 mountains like that. And so the weather comes here, and I'm pretty high up. I'm like 2,200 feet up in the air. So this ain't quite the jet stream. Oh, who can that be? Oh, yes, of course it is. Hey, Johnny, how you doing? What's shaking, bacon? Oh, look. Hey, folks. Look, it's Donald Trump. Donnie, how you doing? Donnie's calling in. Donnie, what's up? So, Donnie, what do you think of, that girl who's running against you? Donnie, come on. Donnie.
No.
Yeah, Donnie Trump. So, you ready to be president again, Donnie? Donnie.
No.
Donnie, you're going to be president, and what are you going to do with all
I
that?
have to all of a sudden have like a bunch of money or something to ever even think about, because my resume is not big enough to try to be president.
Oh, well, Donnie, they just, found you guilty in court. You owe New York State close to $400 million. How are you going to get that $400 million? Donnie.
You can run for president.
Me? No, I'm sorry. No. But Donnie, how are you going to get that $400 million?
You can run for president.
Nah, I don't think so.
No.
I wouldn't want to. I'm very happy. I'm very happy where I'm at.
Like, no matter how small or big it is, just to pretend and actually say you're going to run for president and see how big it gets.
Well, that's I might do that. I might do. But Donnie, you already running for president. How is it running for president?
No.
And having 91 felonies against you, Donnie? What do you think of that? Are you going to look good? Donnie? Are you going to look good in orange?
You're saying that intentionally because you thought that I was actually trying to be president, and I don't care.
No, Donnie. I'm talking to Donnie Trump. Yeah.
I'm not Donnie Trump. You're Donnie Trump, but you have so many billions of dollars that no one can sue you, so you'll never get in trouble.
Oh, that's not true. Donnie Trump has already been found guilty, and he has to pay the New York State $450 million within the next 27. No.
330 million.
No. That's the number without.
But how could he can buy? He can pay the best lawyers to all they have to do.
No. He's already been found guilty. He's already been found guilty. He's already been found guilty. No, he's already been found guilty. Now he can try.
Everyone breaks the law.
Everyone
breaks the law. So when you talk to people who they know the closest, everyone breaks the law. You find out, oh yeah, they broke the law at that. everyone who we know breaks the law.
Well, that's like going
too fast on the speed limit and crap like that.
Well, that's with sin. Everyone, commits sin all the time. Humans are
2
just
miles over the speed limit.
we're just sinful
everyone does
creatures,
that.
right?
Because each of us know millions of people, and if you and maybe in the close thousands of people we know, or hundreds of people we know, everyone who knows people well enough, there's no one really follows the law 100%. Because think about this, I don't know, but if you have billions of dollars, no one can sue you. They'll all
No, John, law is just us, meaning there is no continuity, there is no reality, there is no truth in the law. You can change it anytime you want. Just look. One day you could get an abortion, and the next you can't. One day you can have in vitro. You get a baby in vitro, and now you can't. It used to be not right to pollute the world, but now it's fine. Oh, listen, kids. It's Henry Kissinger. It's Henry Kissinger. Henry, how you doing in hell? Henry, do they make you sit, lie in your bed of feces all the time? No.
You don't understand what I'm telling you. To bring you down here.
Well. Oh, so John has a lot of talent, right? But his parents pay all his bills. I mean, he can lie in his nice, foam bed in his own feces and be happy with it, right? And that's what human race is doing. We are lying in our own bed of feces, right? And it's just getting weirder and weirder, kids. You thought last year was strange? Ooh, baby. You thought the 4 years of Donnie Trump were strange? Ooh, baby. It's going off the cliff. We are like a Wile E. Coyote, and he's chasing the Roadrunner, and he straps that, Acme rocket on his back, lights the fuse, and he gets closer and closer to the Roadrunner, and Roadrunner just stops, and Wiley goes off the cliff, up into the air. He's looking down at the valley 10,000 feet below. Everything looks like ants down there. And the wind is fluffing through his ears. And all of a sudden the Acme rocket. Oh, I wonder what character actor is calling in now to do. Oh. Hey, who are we speaking to now? Is this Donnie? Is this Donnie Trump, or is this JoJo? Is this JoJo, the used car salesman?
I'm trying to tell you, Donald Trump's large car.
And so are you Henry Kissinger in hell? Are you Henry Kissinger in hell, sitting in your own feces with the groundhog coming out your asshole?
No, I'm trying to tell you, Donald Trump. Donald Trump's large carnivorous.
You're Donald Trump's little penis. That's what you are. You're Donald Trump's little penis. Little Donnie. You're that little worm. When he accosts women and they finally get to see it, they go, "Oh my God, it's so small and looks like a worm." That's you, right? You're little Donnie. You're little Donnie. You're little Donnie.
He's a large man. He's the largest on the earth. I'm trying to tell you, he's cave of an asshole. He's like.
Oh, you are the groundhog. You are the groundhog that's in Donald Trump's asshole.
Show it to all of us. Show it to his asshole, dude. I'm telling you.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you, Donald Trump, we're at a party. I was at the party and I got in because, like, you know, I said, hey, come on, you think I like shit on myself? And they were like, hey, that's pretty funny. We put shit on his skin and they thought it was so cool. And I was like, yeah, I'm Native American. It was a buffalo feces. And I thought that it was some way that I thought it was some cool thing to do. And then I accidentally grabbed on myself, and I was trying to wash it off, and I couldn't wipe it off because I would never put my own feces on my own skin. And then he was like trying to get me to go along with it. He was at the party, and he needs a Mexican American to be there. And so, like, he made me feel like I had put my own feces on my own skin. He had this like superpower because he's really big and powerful, and he made me feel like I was putting my own feces all over my own skin. And so I went to the party, and then they were like, yeah, and
President Biden announcing today crushing new sanctions on Russia. The bold move coming exactly 1 week after the death of Putin opposition leader Alexei Navalny. And as the world marks 2 years since the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the new restrictions targeting Moscow, its war machine, and those helping Putin evade existing sanctions. Leading us off this hour, our White House correspondent Selena Wang, also Patrick for us there in Kyiv. Selena, let's start with you. Biden spoke about these new sanctions a short time ago. What did he tell us?
Well, the president used this to once again condemn Putin's brutal war of aggression, and he also used it as an opportunity to hammer Congress to say that, look, time is running out, and for real change here, Congress needs to pass more aid to Ukraine, using it as a chance to blame and shame House Republicans. Take a listen to what the president said here.
House of Representatives must pass the bipartisan national security bill. The bill provides urgent funding for Ukraine, and it passed overwhelmingly in the Senate. And there's no question, none, if the Speaker called for a vote in the House, it would pass easily today. Instead, they went on vacation.
And there you heard the president. He was criticizing House Republicans as the president announced that massive package of sanctions, the largest yet.
And then the human beings, I found out they're all human beings, but back then I thought
You've got to listen to me.
People have been trying to foretell the future for as long as we've been around as a species, but perhaps they've been looking in the wrong places, listening to Nostradamus or the Mayans, because if any one entity is going to forecast our demise correctly, it's likely going to be The Simpsons.
Spider Pig does whatever a Spider Pig does.
During its 30 successful years, the fans have learned to dismiss The Simpsons simply as a cartoon for kids. While serving as the basis of modern comedy across more than 600 episodes, Fox's cartoon has had many moments that have manifested themselves in real life. Matt Groening's hit animated sitcom has delivered countless storylines over 27 seasons and 1 movie. And nestled among the anarchic tales of America's premier nuclear family have been some weirdly prescient predictions about the near future. From the 9/11 tragedy to Donald Trump's shocking presidency, the show's writers have created scenes in the show that spookily go on to mirror real life.
I don't want to go! This is the stupidest idea we ever had!
The spookiest thing is that they might have even predicted the current global health situation 27 years ago when a deadly virus came over to Springfield from Asia. Although many of the writers claimed it's mainly coincidence because the episodes are so old that history repeats itself, that hasn't stopped viewers from thinking that some other worrying predictions that they've made are still yet to come true. With that said, let's take a look at 10 Simpsons predictions for 2025.
There is a plan for Americans on Medicare.
Oh no, I don't know. They're going to turn us into dog food. Oh my God.
Predictions for 2025. This prediction occurred in the Simpsons movie from 2007, which talked about numerous pretty strange things, many of which could be predictions of future events. One thing in particular stands out as the movie's central theme, and it's a massive environmental disaster that most definitely could happen, but fixes it in a genuinely implausible way. Homer dumps pig feces in the already dangerously polluted Springfield Lake, causing an environmental crisis that forces the country to quarantine Springfield by placing a giant bubble on the town. Although the bubble thing is a bit outrageous and would probably never happen, the part about the environmental disaster might just be a significant warning to us in the future. By now, those of us who aren't brainwashed are aware of global warming and the gravity of the issue caused by humans. Companies are getting more and more careless in the way they do business, which has a major effect on our lives and our environment. Back in 2005, Professor Frink invented the machine that allowed Bart and Lisa to see into their future, as in 2013. Marge left Homer because he blew through their savings on an underwater house and spent what he had left over on a hover car.
Sometimes people just grow apart, like me and your mom.
No, Mom dumped you because you blew all our money on this underwater house.
Although the car is the prototype, and the ride is a bit bumpy, it does get them through a quantum tunnel. The 1992 episode Itchy and Scratchy, the movie, finishes with a scene 40 years into the future.
One senior citizen and one Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
I'll get it, son. It'll be $650. So,
The scene shows a much-aged Homer and Bart being passed by a Star Trek-style hover car as they walk to a cinema. While walking down the street, hover cars seem to be complete normalcy. The fact that we all know hover cars have been in the making for a while suggests that the concept won't be implausible by this point in time. One of the main talking points in recent years is the colonization of Mars. Numerous people have already applied to go and live on Mars to help turn the planet into a human colony. Although this hasn't happened yet, one episode of The Simpsons shows a world where Lisa and Marge are sent to Mars on a mission to build a habitat there. Marge is not excited when Lisa signs as a volunteer for a future one-way trip to Mars, which is why she suggests going with her. In fact, hoping to prevent Lisa, the whole family signs up. The concept behind Exploration Incorporated's expedition is to colonize the red planet before 2026. Although the takeoff fails, Lisa and Marge make it to Mars.
Really? So, what's stranger, The Simpsons or our friend, the yellow canary with a chipmunk up his butt? I remember I was redoing a building in Soho, and, each floor was maybe, 4,000 square feet. So split them in half, 2,000 square foot loft. And anyway, there was 6 stories, and so 12, right? So I had to put a new service in, risers, all that kind of stuff. So I had the inspectors there, and we go up, and this is an 1890s elevator, like it's not the push button, kind of maneuver it yourself. And, it looks more like Star Trek's, what do they call that thing? Where they would hold the little elevator, the little joystick, something tube, whatever. Anyway, so we go up to the floor, and all the clients who were buying this floor and were turning it into their party den were basically, I don't even know, what pronoun to use on this guy, but they were all Wall Street lawyers, right? And they were all naked, and they all had bodily fluids coming out of their orifices, and there were no women. So I don't know what gender you would use on those guys. But what they did have up their butts were rodents. And they were crawling around, and they were lying. The guys were lying on the, things of sheetrock, piles of sheetrock that we were going to make the walls out of, and rodents were all over the place. And these guys were stoned out of their fracking mind. And these guys are the ones who are running our economy, right? Or right now, our, New York City Stock Exchange are like going through the roof. They're just, they've broken all the records. I think the Dow is, past 30,000, And anyway, and when historically that happens, very soon afterwards, you see a gigantic economic collapse. This ain't the time to buy stock, kids. No. The time to buy stock was, the day after the 08 crash. Then you just went through the floor, and then the Fed gave free money for 15 years. So that was the time, and that's what that's why the stock market took off. It's because those people bought their own stock. So anyway, here we are, 30 minutes into this one, and you'll say, boy, this one was weird. No, this one was no weirder than anything else I've ever done, right? And that just shows the context of where we are and where we are in our world. I've been reading the Bible a lot the last year, and especially Jeremiah was a bullfrog, and Leviticus is exactly what's going on in the strip. It's just unfriggin' believable. And what happened to Israel and Jeremiah was a bullfrog, and Leviticus is exactly what's going to happen to Israel today. And not only that, everyone else who's connected with the thing. And the thing, even though everyone is like, oh, we got to start, we got to have a stop killing, let's have a halt on violence. And no, actually, the Europeans don't want it. They want all those people to die, so they don't come to Europe. Americans want it, right? Because those people are on our oil and gas. Jeremiah was a bullfrog. Go read Jeremiah. And so anyway, the weather has been so about 15, 20 minutes ago, I was about to get in about the weather. And it's so, the next 3 to 6 weeks, it's going to be wild. We're going to go from summer to winter, summer to winter, summer. It's going to be like, woo, I'm getting dizzy. And my whole head is a barometer. So it's like pressure was way out of, so my whole head was like stuffed. Now it's going the other way and it's draining. And Jeremiah was a bullfrog. I think I should have named this show Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog. But don't believe a word I say. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Let's see. Catherine, good to see you, buddy. Catherine, if you want to, have I sent you any of my novels? Send me your email, and you can get a hold of me. Anyone wants to get a hold of me, the dudeawake42@gmail, right? And I will Gmail you, especially if you have Google's Docs. It's easy as pie to send you a document. So if you want to read any of my novels, I've written 8. 5, I've gotten into what they would call in the publishing world a manuscript, meaning it's not a book yet. We got to work on this, but it's a finished product. And I'm working on book 6 now. I've got 6, 7, and 8. 6 is more done than 8, 7, and 8, right? So, first one is Death. Second one is Legend. Then I think third one is Legacy, Ear Hair, Bad Girl. That's 5. And 6 is The Same, right? So far. So that's, pretty good for 2 years. Each one's about 200 to 300 pages long. And anybody wants to help me put these things out, I'd surely love that, And I sent them to a number of people who, I sent them to a number of theologic departments in universities because they're very theological. And kind of like the comic book that is the New Testament. Or what is that at the end of the New Testament is the end times thing, whatever they call that. That is such a joke. I said, what's the end times? And he said, I have no idea. He's God. Right? So when he goes, I have no idea, that means this ain't stopping anytime soon. That doesn't mean that things are going to be happy and whoop-de-doo. I mean, just look at the world right now. I used to work for really, people who had 9-figure yearly salaries, right? and they were living from paycheck to paycheck. That's how overextended they were. And why were they overextended? Because they weren't happy with who and what they were. Right? I had 5 or 6, multi-million-dollar homes all over the world, and were they happy? No. They had a private jet. Were they happy? No. They were on the Lolita Express. Were they happy? No. So I have nothing, and I am happy because I talk to God all the time. Now, it's not like, if I were to say, I talk to God and God talks, no, it's not like, hey, Al, it's not like I'm hearing a voice. But when I put it into perspective of me talking to God, that brings forth things I do and say and am at in a way that I go, oh yeah, look at that. So that's a basic thing, right? And so, and when people hang out with me in close proximity, they have loads of fun, right? And I always kind of have a girlfriend. I kind of have one now, but she's starting. She's really great. She's has her own business, and she loves the fact that I don't call her up, and I don't when she wants to see me, she knows I got no car. I mean, I don't really go anywhere, so she can 99% sure you know find me here and take me someplace. We have a good time. And the other day, she was going, you really rub my feet, in a way that no one, that's just like, it's like heaven. But I said, what? I said, but you're always reading things and talking about stuff, and you give me stuff to read and talk about. And this is kind of stuff that I read and thought about when I was a teenager, and I wanted to change the world. And now that I have my own business, I really don't care. And you talk to me and you make me realize I should care, but I don't care. And she goes, there are a lot of people I love, my brothers and sisters' kids, and other my friends, and I don't care. And the more I talk to you, more I hang out with you, the more I need to start to care. The last 20 years, I spent my whole life building this business, and now it's pretty successful, and I'm not worrying about it. And now I'm hanging out with you, and you're making me think, and I don't want to think. And that's pretty much the human race. I don't want to think. Right? So anyway, that's pretty much it. Anything else to say? Catherine, like I said, get a hold of me on my email and anybody else, the dude awake 42 at Gmail. And we can start a nice conversation, and I can send you some of my writings. And I'd love to get your feedback on it, right? So, and my wisdoms aren't my wisdoms. They're pretty much, if you see, the real problem with humanity is that we have 3-part brain, right? See how there's the me above this bright light, right? And that's the bright light is the reptile part of our brain. Our brainstem is 3 parts, right? And the top part, where our not motive, thought functions are our mammal, right? And that's the creature that feeds its young with breast milk, right? Becomes and lets the creature grow inside of it, right? And the reptile just pops them out like eggs and doesn't think about it again, right? It might even come back and eat that egg, put it on the frying pan and have an omelet. So anyway, so we bounce between being a reptile, all the stuff that's going, what's going on in the Strip, what's going on in Ukraine, what's going on in Africa, what's going on in Haiti. Those are all reptilian things, right? And that middle manager goes, oh, that's terrible, but they can't step in. The people who step in to be, people like Ralph Nader and Martin Luther King and lots of other people like that you don't even hear about. They're truly mammals. So anyway, that's our interesting show for today. It's been a little strange, a little weird. I'm gonna go, I think. Talk to you later.